Hello, dear students of MCOM semester 3 of this university. Very good morning to all of you. Uh, Today's class I have arranged for the semester 3 MCOM students. The subject being the security analysis and portfolio management. The topic of discussion that I have selected for today, that is portfolio management, uh, its concepts, features, and objectives. These are the three things that we are going to discuss today. The concepts of portfolio management, features of portfolio management, and the objectives of portfolio management. Now, what is portfolio management? It means making decisions about three things. Okay, dear students, it means making decisions about three things. Number one, investment mix, what is going to be your investment mix, and the policy there too. Number two being you have to match your investments with the objectives. So matching investments to objectives is the second very important thing regarding this portfolio management. Number three is asset allocation, which is equally important. Asset allocation for whom? Asset allocation for individuals and institutions. And number four, we can we can call it as balancing the risk, right? Balancing the risk against performance. How the portfolio is performing and what are the risks. You have to see the balance between the two, the risk and the performance. Now, before we land on to the portfolio management, let us first of all see, dear students, what is portfolio? Portfolio is a briefcase, right, or a basket containing group of financial assets such as stocks, I mean the shares, bonds, commodities, currencies, and cash equivalents, as well as their fund counterparts. It also consists of non-publicly tradable securities like, say, real estate, art, and private investments. Now, this is what we understand by portfolio. So it is a basket, it's a briefcase which contains these financial assets, these financial assets like stocks, the shares, that what I mean, bonds, commodities, currencies, cash equivalents, as well as their fund counterparts also. So this is what we understand by the portfolio. Now let us come back to the portfolio management. It requires the ability to measure the strength and weaknesses, opportunities and threats across the full spectrum of investments. So it requires the ability to measure or weigh the strength and weaknesses, opportunities and threats across the full spectrum of investments. So we can say, dear students, it's a trade-off. Okay, it's a trade-off between debt and equity, domestic and international, what and growth and the safety. So these are the three things which I would like to for which the trade-off is required. The trade-off between the debt and equity, domestic and international, and growth and safety. So portfolio, what is the purpose of the portfolio manager? Who manages these portfolio investments things? Portfolio manager's ultimate goal is to maximize the investment's expected return. What is going to be your return, expected return of investments within an appropriate level of risk exposure. So risk exposure is equally important. So its ultimate goal is to maximize the investment's expected return within an appropriate level of risk exposure. This is very important to before we land on to the features, which is also our discussion, which will be also our discussion today. Now let us come to the features of portfolio. Dear students, managing your investment portfolio is basically a tug of war over what? Tug of war over profit in the investment game. In the investment game, there is a tug of war which the investment portfolio management is basically concerned with. The decision you make today, decision you make tomorrow, or even 20 years from now will determine how well we do take your share of profit. So decision whether you are making it today, decision you are going to make it tomorrow, decisions that you are taking even 20 years from now will determine how well you do take your share of profit. Dear students, you have to understand three things I am telling you. First thing is, what makes an investment management strategy good? What makes an investment management strategy good? The answer is good decision making. And what makes decisions good? Their effectiveness in moving you toward achieving your objectives. And what moves you toward achieving your objective? The right mix of investments. What makes you towards achieving your objectives? The right mix of investment. And what is the right mix of investment? The answer is the right mix of investment for you and your situation depends entirely upon where you are, where you want to go, and how would you like to get there. Although each investment portfolio must be evaluated within the context of its beneficiaries, unique set of facts, there are characteristics that any good and all the very best investment portfolio have in common. The investment portfolio have some features in common. Let us discuss one by one. The risk averse. What is risk averse? Your portfolio should not expose you to any more mix than is necessary to meet your needs. Cost efficient. As you know, a good portfolio achieves its object at the lowest possible cost. So for the portfolio interest, that the return on the portfolio investment should be high and the portfolio should be cost efficient. A good portfolio achieves its object at the lowest possible cost. So this is the second feature. The third feature being the risk efficient. What is risk efficient? The investors must be having a risk tolerance. See, every investment is having risk. So you must have that portfolio investment which you can manage, which you can tolerate. So risk tolerance of investors. We can take a feature like say tax efficient. So tax efficient is another feature of the portfolio. Taxes must be minimized, that you understand. taxes must be minimized in order to what for? In order to maximize the quality of your investment strategy. Number 5, you can say the portfolio should be very simple. It should not be complicated. A good portfolio minimizes complexities. You should be able to quickly review and assess your portfolio's performance. So this is what we understand by the portfolio must be very simple. A good portfolio always minimizes complexities. Transparent. Transparent for what? Transparent means the portfolio must have the transparency. It must have the trust. Trust is not something that should be given to anyone in the investment business. Trust is not something that should be given to anyone in the investment business. It should be earned. Dear students, trust is earned. That is very important, you should keep in mind. Easy to manage is another feature. You must have that basket full of portfolio investments. You should have only those portfolios which are easy to manage. So that also you have to keep in mind. Now, dear students, let us come to the objectives of portfolio management. To invest in securities in such a way, what is the main objective first? Let us first of all see. The main objective of portfolio management is to invest in securities in such a way that one maximizes one's return and minimizes risks in order to achieve one's investment objective. So the main objective is to invest in securities in such a way that one maximizes one's return and minimizes risks in order to achieve one's investment objective. A good portfolio should have multiple objectives, but it should achieve a sound balance. It may have multiple objectives, but it must be able to achieve a sound balance among them, among those objectives. Any one objective should not be given undue priority. Any one objective should not be given undue importance at the cost of other objectives. This is very important, dear students. Let us come to the objectives one by one. First, we can say the first objective among the multiple objectives, the stable current return. Your current return should have a stability. Once investment safety is guaranteed, portfolio should yield a current income. The current returns should at least match the opportunity cost of the funds of the investor. So once investment safety is guaranteed, portfolio should yield a current income. The current returns should at least match the opportunity cost of the funds of the investor. Another objective is the marketability of the portfolio. A good portfolio consists of investment which can be marketed without any difficulty. If there are too many unlisted or inactive shares in your portfolio, you will face problems. The problems in what? Problems in encashing them and switching from one investment to another investment. It is desirable to invest in companies uh, listed on major stock exchanges which are actively traded. We can have another objective, dear students, that is tax planning. This is equally important. A good portfolio should enable its owner to enjoy a favorable tax shelter. A portfolio should be developed considering not only income tax, capital gains tax, and gift tax as well. What a good portfolio aims at is tax planning, not tax evasion or tax avoidance. So this is another objective, very important objective. A good portfolio should enable its owner to enjoy a favorable tax shelter. The portfolio should be developed considering not only income tax but also capital gains tax and gift tax as well. What a good portfolio aims at is the tax planning, not tax evasion, not tax avoidance. We come to the another objective, that is appreciation in value of capital. A good portfolio should appreciate in value in order to protect the investor from any erosion in purchasing power due to inflation. A balanced portfolio must consist of certain investments which tend to appreciate in value after adjusting for inflation. Number 5, liquidity. The portfolio should ensure that there are enough funds available at short notice to take care of investors' liquidity requirements. This is equally important. The portfolio should ensure that there are enough funds available at short notice to take care of investors' liquidity requirements. Another objective we can let us take it as a final objective among the multiple objectives, that is safety of investments. Very important. Safety of investment. Your investment should be safe. The investment should be absolutely fine. The investment should be absolutely fine. It should be absolutely safe. Other considerations that we say, like income, growth, etc., they come only into the picture after the safety of investment is ensured. Your income, your growth, etc., they come into picture, but they come into picture only after the safety of investment is ensured. These are the objectives of the portfolio management. Dear students, I hope I wish that you must have been benefited by my lecture. You can go through this. Finally, I would like to say that at the moment where there is a outbreak of the global outbreak of this very dangerous coronavirus, you should keep yourself safe, you stay safe, you stay home and stay safe. This is very important. Keep yourself safe, be at home. That's all. Thank you very much, students.